And then there was this discussion about building a school. And while we are excited over the fact that it really happened, when you are there with 29 other people and you're talking about loans of $4 and $5 million, you're thinking that maybe these people are not really, all there to think that each one of them divide $5 million out, would have a big chunk of responsibility as it relates to that.
Pastor Jansen was very, very strong-willed. I like that. He had his vision and he would not waver. And he would fight. He would fight you over his vision. If your ideas were going in a direction that he didn't want or didn't like, he wasn't going to agree with you. He just wasn't. That just was not his nature, which I liked about him a lot. He had a lot of strength in there.
Yeah, I don't think anybody really felt as if there was craziness to this idea, really. I mean, everyone was just astounded by it. We as a family were astounded by it because the largeness of what was about to happen with a small group just seemed almost impossible. But then, what is impossible for our God?
Look who God put here to start this place. I mean, 4 couples that with no kids, and it's all about the school.
Now, clearly, the leader of the pack on this whole thing was Pastor Jansen. Pastor Jansen had a way about him that, you could just see that little smirk about the school, and that, he was that was something that he knew that was the calling, why he was there and why we were all there as well.
Well, I think it just comes down to everybody knew what the vision was, and I've just been a firm believer. And I felt it immediately that God wants us to be here. This is God's project. It's not our project. It's not something that we decided to do, or even Pastor Jansen. It's what God wants.
The fact that there were no other Christian schools in Peachtree City, and St. Paul was going to be the first one. And we were going to lead the way as it relates to having a school that actually talked about Jesus every single day.
I think it was just always assumed we were going to do that. We were going to have kindergarten through 8th grade. That was just an assumption. Pastor Jansen probably had a lot to do with that. But then, though, we early on, like almost immediately, especially the ladies on the school board, said, we need a preschool. We need to have preschool. And that was another thing we developed.
And I remember we came in, and even though the building wasn't done, you could see there was something about the place. There was there was a buzz there. Classes were full. We peeked in, saw some of the classes in sync, and it was just a feel about the place. And it seemed like it was one of those journeys that you take in your life where God laid out, this is where you need to be right now.
I found it exciting. I thought the mood was very exciting because to me, it felt very missional. So I thought it was very exciting. Everybody was playing a part and getting involved, and it was a pretty cool place to be around.
Pastor Jansen had this vision where we are right now. He had it, and that's what we were working towards. We had neither the manpower, the money, all of those things were a pretty grave concern for us as we went forward. But it was faith that carried us through. And we decided to take on this and the money where people were putting up their houses as notes and things like that to make sure that we could actually get this place started. And that is a gigantic leap of faith. It was worth it. God picked us to do this.
We have to reach out to the children. We can't be a church that just ministers to the elderly, or whatever. That we needed to support this school no matter what, and that the Lord is going to take care of us.
I guess the main one I think I had the most influence, I was on the first school board. At times could be quite contentious. Everybody had their own, vision and future, but we all kept our eyes on the ultimate goal. It was difficult, but in some ways it wasn't, because we had the use of the Missouri Synod Church. They helped a lot. We would look at other schools and get a lot of resources and ideas from them.
I think what makes this church and school ministry different is the coordination between the church and school. This church would not exist without this school. This school would never survive without this church. I think the reliance on each other and that need to, the dependence upon each other is what has made this a unique situation.
We had no idea what was going to come. We had no idea. That's strange too. We never thought we would fail. Where did that come from? We never thought that we would fail.
Clearly, this place was meant to be. This is God's plan. And it demonstrates itself every day when you see 200 plus students walking through those doors.
And I think what is so St. Paul, which just tickles me to death, is that we're on the second generation of kids already. We have children of children that started here.
St. Paul is the best. What's good about St. Paul, I just love the loving, nurturing environment that we can create for students in our school, and how every day the kids that walk in, they put a smile on my face, and I try to put a smile on theirs, and we get to learn about God and his world and his creation and history, and it's just so much fun to see learning in their eyes, and to be able to share Jesus with them on top of it is just magical.